The Effects of Relational Training on Slot Machine Preference by Dejan Milic. When it comes to gambling, I do have a real world experience from this weekend. I had a friend who won $30,000 on a slot machine, and I asked him, besides financially, what other types of reinforcement led him to go gamble. And he said it's never really about the money. It's really about just going and having a good time with friends and just having some drinks. And now looking at that, the money was kind of a coincidence in terms of winning. And now this is a good lead into relational training and how it could possibly affect a preference or a choice of a slot machine and the outcomes that it could possibly lead to. In order to find our participant, we went to a local library and handed out questionnaires to willing participants, offering them $5 a piece to fill it out. And then the biggest X factor in our questionnaire was finding someone who possibly had no gambling experience or minimal gambling experience. Our participant was a person who said they didn't have any gambling experience. They were a middle-aged person, being at 48 years old, having a bachelor's degree and being at their current job for the last 6 years. So they were the type of candidate that we were looking for. Our study was run by performing baseline, using 50 trials, and then implementing relational training to hopefully bias responding when it came to the testing of our participant. The independent variable in our study was the relational training implemented after baseline, which involved novel stimuli that our participant would be exposed to. And then the dependent variable in our study was a choice of slot machine during each trial chosen by our participant after relational training was performed. Results during baseline ended up with our participant having 23 spins on the generic slot machine and 27 spins on the themed slot machine. After relational training was implemented, during the testing phase, the generic machine had 17 spins, while the themed slot machine had 33 spins. So this was an increase of about 6 spins on the themed slot machine. We also had a response latency of 1.1 seconds during the testing phase, which was 0.3 seconds quicker than in the baseline phase, which was at 1.4. And then the bet magnitude increased double from 1.2 credits during baseline to 2.4 credits on average during testing. To conclude our study, we can say, based on our data, that relational training does have an effect on slot machine preference and how it biases responding. Our participant was influenced by the relational training, and it showed in his selection during testing and moving more from generic to the theme slot machine, which led to an increase of 6 spins on average. His response latency also increased, as mentioned earlier, and the magnitude of his bets also increased significantly. This is a visual of the data from our participant showing baseline and then the trials during or post intervention after the relational training was implemented.